Let's talk about one of the most maddening mysteries in the IELTS world, the Band 9 essay. You know the drill. You study, you practice, you cram all this advanced vocabulary into your brain, and yet your score just doesn't budge. It feels like there's a secret, right? A key you're missing. Well, you're not wrong. And that secret is a paradox. Okay, think about the last practice essay you wrote. Be honest. Did you spend half the time just trying to squeeze in some ridiculously complex words? Or maybe you tried to build those super long, winding sentences to, show off your grammar skills. We've all been taught that this is how you get a high score. But what if I told you that that very effort is the exact thing holding you back? Yup, you heard that right. This constant push to sound smart is probably the #1 reason so many of us get stuck at Band 7. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on why that happens. We're going to expose the counterintuitive mindset that actually unlocks those top scores. And we're going to start by taking a sledgehammer to the biggest myth of all. First things first, we have to talk about the myth of more. This is the idea that a higher score comes from adding more of everything. More fancy words, more complicated grammar, more brilliant, earth-shattering ideas. It's a total trap, and it's time we all learned how to see it for what it really is. This right here, this slide just nails the biggest misunderstanding about vocabulary. On the left, you've got the classic Band 7 approach. It's like you've swallowed a thesaurus and you're just forcing out big words to look impressive. But look at the right, that's Band 9 control. It's about using the right word, the precise word. Important isn't fancy, but if it's the perfect word for the job, that's what a Band 9 writer uses. It's the difference between trying to show off and actually communicating. And this is the absolute key. Forget about range for a second. The real goal is precision. Think about it this way. A Band 7 essay is like a fireworks display. Lots of bright, flashy words going off everywhere, but it's kind of messy. A Band 9 essay, on the other hand, is like a perfectly built brick wall. Every single word is a load-bearing brick that has earned its place. Nothing is there just for decoration. And guess what? The exact same trap exists for grammar. The Band 7 writer treats grammar like a performance. You try to construct these absolute monster sentences, cramming in clauses left and right, thinking, yeah, this looks smart. But what almost always happens? You make a tiny mistake, a misplaced comma, a weird connection, and the examiner spots it instantly. A Band 9 writer, though, uses complex sentences as a tool, and only when it makes the idea clearer. Trust me, effortless control is always more impressive than forced complexity. And now for the final myth, the one that stresses everyone out the most, the idea that you have to be some kind of genius with brilliant original thoughts. You really don't. An IELTS examiner isn't looking for a Nobel Prize-winning analysis of public transport. They just want to see if you can take a simple idea, express it clearly, and support it logically. In this test, control trumps creativity, every single time. Okay, so if examiners don't want brilliance, what on earth are they looking for? Well, the secret quality they are trained to reward, the thing they are secretly hoping to see, boils down to one simple but incredibly powerful concept. Reliability. That's the word. That's the whole game. A Band 9 essay is reliable. It means the examiner reads the first sentence and just trusts you. They trust that from beginning to end, your language is going to be accurate and your ideas are going to make sense. It's not about these rare flashes of genius. It's about being consistently solid with almost no mistakes. And you build that reliability with something called resolved paragraphs. Here's what that means. Each paragraph takes one idea, explains it, gives an example, and wraps it up so completely that the reader is left with zero questions. They can mentally tick a box and say, okay, got it, and move on. You're closing the loop. No loose ends, no what did they mean by that, it's just done. When you master resolved paragraphs, you unlock this elite level skill, invisible cohesion. Look, at lower bands, we all use this clunky signpost words, right? Furthermore, moreover, in addition. But a Band 9 writer doesn't need them. The logic is baked right into the structure of their sentences. Instead of saying the economy improved, furthermore, unemployment dropped, they'll write, as the economy improved, unemployment figures naturally fell. See that? The connection is seamless, it's elegant, it's basically invisible. This table really sums up the whole journey. Look at the pattern here. As you go from Band 7 to Band 9, you move from just answering the question to framing it. You go from visible signposts to intuitive flow. You shift from having a good range of words to using words that are perfectly suited. The big theme is a move away from showing effort and towards a state of calm, effortless control. So the big question is, how do you actually make the shift? Well, it means changing your entire strategy. It's no longer about what you can cram into your essay. From now on, it's about what you can take away. This is your new mantra. To get past Band 7, you stop adding things. Instead, you become a ruthless editor of your own work. Your job is to hunt down and eliminate every unnecessary word, every risky sentence structure, every phrase that sounds even a little bit forced. You have to ask yourself, is this sentence making my idea clearer, or am I just trying to show off? If it's the latter, get rid of it. All right, here it is, your new game plan. Step 1, frame the question. Don't just answer it. Show the examiner you get the deep, central point of the prompt. Step 2, plan for resolution. Design your paragraphs to be complete, self-contained little arguments. Step 3, hunt for weakness. When you proofread, you are not looking to add more fancy words. You are a detective looking for one thing and one thing only: mistakes. Find them and destroy them. And finally, step 4, trust your logic. If your ideas are well planned, the flow will take care of itself. You see, when you adopt this new mindset, it's a total game changer. Because it takes all the pressure off. You don't have to be a creative genius anymore. You don't have to be a walking dictionary. You just have to be in control. And that right there is the ultimate goal. A Band 9 essay is like a beautifully engineered machine. It isn't flashy. It doesn't need chrome rims or a loud exhaust. It just works perfectly. It does its job with maximum efficiency and almost zero error. It is calm, it is confident, and it is completely, utterly reliable. So I'm going to leave you with this one question to think about. Are you trying to write an essay that sounds smart? Or are you trying to write an essay that is simply impossible to misunderstand? Because the moment you stop trying to prove how clever you are and start focusing on being flawlessly clear, that's the moment you actually start writing like a Band 9 candidate. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.